Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to another session from GMAT Quiz. Once again, we are together on Wednesdays to celebrate the Wednesdays with quizzes. Today, we are going to discuss the most common usages of the ing verb form. So I can see people still joining, and do let me know if you guys can hear me. A quick yes will be good enough to let me know that I am loud and clear to all of you. And while we are at it, while you're sending out your yeses, let me set up the agenda of the day. Uh, so, as I said, once again, we are going to discuss the common uses of ing verb form today. And we are going to discuss when this should be used and how this should be used and why it should be used. I'm your host for the evening. My name is Sunita. I am the verbal head at GMAT Quiz. I've got tons of years of teaching experience and I've mentored many students. Also, I have scored the 99 percentile on the section. And today's agenda, the most important part of the session today, um, is what are we going to discuss? So, we're going to talk about the ing verb form as a verb modifier. We're going to talk about the ing verb form as a noun modifier and what are the rules related to that. And we'll also look at how the ing verb form can also be used as a noun on the sentence. Um, as a precursor to today's session, we had released a very short video, what we call the GMAT with shorts, on Monday on the ing verb form, 4 common usages of the ing verb form. I'll quickly share the link to that video with you guys. Just give me a moment in case you want to take a look at it. Uh, just give me a moment. It will be visible to you. And so the link to that short video on the common uses, the 4 common uses of ing verb form is there on your screens. You can copy that link and go through the video later on. Today, we are going to talk about those usages, all right? The usage of the ing verb form on GMAT with GMAT SC questions. So let me start straight away, guys. Again, once again, a quick request to all of you. If you can hear me loud and clear, please let me know by a yes in the chat. Thank you so much. And let me bring up the first question of the evening so that we can get started with our understanding of the usages of the ing verb forms. So here comes the first question, guys. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to solve this, and then I'm going to discuss to let you understand how the ing verb form should be used. I'm going to mute myself in the meantime. Thank you. For those of you who have just joined, we are discussing the common usages of the ing verb form, ing modifier, ing verbal, as you might like to call it. A quick request. Once you finish solving the question, don't post the answers. I will ask you to post the answers. Please post it then. Till then, hold on to your answers. Thank you. You can start posting your answers, guys. If you're done with the question, you can start posting your answers. Your answers encourage us to uh, give out the explanation with more energy. So I would love to hear your answers. Hi, Gurnur. Thank you for posting your answer. So Gurnur believes it's B. Sudeep believes it's C. Thank you, Sudeep. Any other answers, guys, before I quickly dig into the explanation? Hi, Lim. Good to see you here. So Lim believes it's D. So I have got multiple answers here, B, C, D. Any other answers, guys? A lot more of you are there live with us right now. So it would be really great if you can post your answers. Okay, so I am going to get into the discussion of the question, and I want you guys to hold on to your questions if you have any. Most likely, once the discussion is through, your answers, your queries will get resolved. So let me start off. Just let me give me a moment. I'm going to stop my cam here so that we can kind of look at this. All right. So I am going to solve this question using the GMAT Viz methodology. It's a three-step Viz methodology. The first step being understanding the intended meaning of the original sentence. Okay, so here goes. And we believe in breaking and reading the sentence. So I start reading the sentence, even in this age of conservation. Now that even tells us that the author is trying to tell us something that is not really expected. So even in this age of conservation, something is happening which the author does not expect to happen. All right. So with that understanding, I'm going to move forward. Cooking ranges that consume fossil fuels. So for short, that consume fossil fuels here is modifying cooking ranges. All right. It's a relative pronoun clause, modifying cooking ranges. So let me call this fossil fuel cooking ranges for short. Okay, so fossil fuel cooking ranges are far more common. All right, so these fossil fuel cooking ranges are far more common than, so because I have more here, there is a than here, which makes sense to me. There's a comparison coming up. Those that rely on magnetic resonance. So this those is referring to the noun cooking ranges. All right, so we are talking about cooking ranges using fossil fuels and cooking ranges using magnetic resonance. All right, so let's call this cooking ranges magnetic resonance cooking ranges. And the author is giving us a comparison here. What is the comparison? Okay, cooking ranges that use fossil fuels and cooking ranges that use magnetic resonance. That's the first comparison we have here. And the author is telling us fossil fuel cooking ranges are far more common than magnetic resonance cooking ranges. Okay, so far so good. This is not even underlined, so I'm not really looking for errors, but I'm trying to get the meaning clear so that the underlined portion becomes meaningful to me as well. One of the mistakes that we make is we don't pay enough attention to the non-underlined portion. Right after that, we have a comma and then we have a ing verbal here. Producing heat more efficiently than natural gas. Now, a comma plus ing after a clause modifies the nearest verb in that clause. What is the nearest verb here? Rely. This is the verb that is nearest to this producing. Okay. And the subject of that verb is the magnetic resonance cooking ranges. So we are saying that magnetic resonance cooking ranges rely on magnetic resonance, comma, and then we have this whole thing, producing heat more efficiently than natural gas. Now, there is a problem with this portion. Okay, this producing comma plus ing is supposed to tell us the outcome of this verb, all right, or the effect of this verb. But then there is a problem here because this comparison here, producing heat more efficiently than natural gas, seems to imply two possibilities. One, magnetic range magnetic resonance cooking ranges producing heat more efficiently than producing natural gas. So it sounds as if the magnetic resonance cooking ranges are producing two things, the heat and the natural gas, and they're producing heat more efficiently. The other possibility is magnetic resonance cooking ranges producing heat more efficiently than natural gas. Natural gas is a fossil fuel. That natural gas produces heat. And if you really think about the entire sentence, the author seems to be surprised at the fact that even in this age of conservation, the fossil fuel cooking ranges are more common. All right, even though the magnetic resonance cooking ranges are more efficient at producing heat than the fossil fuel cooking ranges. So the natural gas word here is probably representing the fossil fuel cooking range. Okay, so it seems more logical to believe that it is the magnetic resonance cooking range which is producing heat more efficiently than the natural gas cooking range produces heat. All right, so clearly there is a red flag that is raised on this portion. Why? Because there could be two possible interpretations of this comparison. So the intended meaning that we have is, this is the age of conservation. In this age, the following is true. There are cooking ranges that consume fossil fuel. There are cooking ranges that depend on magnetic resonance. Fossil fuel cooking ranges are more common than magnetic cooking ranges. And we are saying magnetic resonance ranges are more efficient at producing heat than our fossil fuel ranges, or what we are saying is natural gas range. Okay, so clearly here we can see that the comma plus ing is supposed to modify the nearest verb while making sense with the subject of that verb. However, here there is a confusion related to the comparison in the underlined portion. Do let me know, guys, if this is clear to all of you. Just let me know quickly with a yes so that I can proceed to eliminate the choices. So A is clearly out. Okay. So let's get on with the elimination. So as pointed out already, A is out because there are two possibilities. As I said, that one possibility is that magnetic resonance cooking ranges are producing two things. One is producing heat, the other is producing natural gas, which is a little odd. Second possibility is magnetic resonance cooking ranges produce heat more efficiently than the natural gas cooking ranges produce heat. All right, so A is out. So what we have learned here is the comma plus ing will modify the nearest verb. This is the nearest verb. This is not the nearest verb. All right. So this comma plus ing is the outcome of that, relying on magnetic resonance. If we look at B, choice B takes care of the ambiguity. There is a verb used after natural gas. So here we are saying that the magnetic resonance cooking ranges rely on magnetic resonance, and the outcome of that is the magnetic resonance cooking ranges are producing heat more efficiently than the natural gas cooking range does. All right. So clearly the verb here points out that we are talking about how the two cooking ranges are different. All right. And therefore B is the correct answer. So I think one of you chose B. Gurnur chose B. Good, Gurnur. I hope you chose it for the right reason. Let's quickly eliminate the other choices as well. Now, if you look at this which, it's a relative pronoun clause, right? What will it modify? It will modify the nearest noun. Nearest noun is magnetic resonance. Magnetic resonance is singular. All right. Produce here, which is a verb, is plural. If not for anything else, magnetic resonance which produces would have been more correct, more apt. All right. And of course, the verb is missing here, which keeps the ambiguity alive. Therefore, this is wrong for two reasons. This this doesn't match here, and of course the verb is missing, which uh, brings that ambiguity into play. So C is out. In D also the same issue is there. Which produce? This is singular, produce is plural, although this issue is corrected here. So because of this, D is out as well. The comma plus ing is modifying the verb. Nobody marked E. Again, much more efficient will be modifying resonance. This here is a noun modifier. It will modify the noun magnetic resonance. So magnetic resonance, more efficient at producing heat, than again the ambiguity still remains, if you see. So this is also out. What is the takeaway here? The takeaway is, if you have a comma plus ing after a clause, okay, the comma plus ing after a clause modifies the nearest verb in that clause. And in cases where there is a doer of the verb, the ing also makes sense with that doer, right? For example, here we had um, those, right? So those referred to magnetic resonance cooking ranges. And then the verb was rely on something, and by relying on that thing, the magnetic resonance cooking ranges are producing something. So this is the outcome of the verb. At the same time, who or what is producing the heat more efficiently? It is the magnetic resonance cooking ranges. All right, so that's the takeaway. And we had discussed this in that small video that I had posted earlier. Once again, those of you who missed that, I am just going to quickly uh, post the link to that once again. For those of you who had just joined, we had released this small video on the 4 uses of ing verb forms, and today we are discussing questions based on that. So one of the things that we had discussed in that video is what is there in front of you on the screen. All right, guys, let's not waste any more time and get started with the next question. Let me see. So Sudeep is asking a question, ma'am, will D be correct if produces is there? Sudeep, with D, it would change the meaning a little wee bit if we go back to D. Okay, so which produces seems to say the magnetic resonance produces heat more efficiently. We'd rather say that it is the cooking range using magnetic resonance than say that magnetic resonance produces heat more efficiently. All right, so if we change this to S and we still have option B, B would be the answer, because the original sentence is also telling you that it is the magnetic resonance cooking ranges that are producing heat more efficiently than natural gas cooking ranges. The comparison is between magnetic resonance cooking ranges and natural gas cooking range. All right, so here it goes. However, D is not all that bad, Sudeep, if that answers your question. But if both are there, then B would definitely be the correct answer. So I hope that clears your query. Okay, let me quickly take you to the next question and our next takeaway. So this is the one of the most common usages. If you have a comma plus ing after a clause, the comma plus ing will modify the nearest verb and will also make sense with the subject of that clause if the subject is the doer of that verb. Here comes the next question, guys, where we'll discuss yet another usage of the comma plus ing. So your time starts now. Get solving, guys. You're welcome, Sudeep. I'm going to mute myself in the meantime. All right, guys, you can start posting your answers. If your answers are ready, you can start posting your answers. Do reach out and post your answers, guys. As I said, it also makes me feel as if I'm interacting with somebody out there. Thank you, Sudeep. So, Sudeep believes the correct answer is E. How about the others? Lim, Gurnur. Okay, Gurnur believes the correct answer is B. Yes, there are a lot more of you out there, guys. Do cooperate. It would be really good. Nice to have your answers here. Lim, are you ready with your answer? Okay, so I am just going to mute my cam. Thank you, Lim, there. I'm just going to mute my camera and let's get started with the explanation. Thank you, Amol. Amol also believes the correct answer is B. So far I've got a competition between B and E. Let's get started and see what is the correct answer. Okay, so here goes, following the GMAT with intended meaning approach. Defense attorneys, so we're talking about certain kinds of attorneys, have occasionally argued that. So we are going to, the portion of the sentence so far tells us that we have the subject defense attorneys and they have argued something. That here is going to tell us what they have argued. So that here is going to connect this clause to an upcoming clause. All right. What have these defense attorneys argued? There would be referring to the defense attorneys, their clients' misconduct. So they are attorneys, they are probably fighting for their client must have done something wrong. And these attorneys are saying their client's wrongdoing stemmed from means comes from or came from a reaction to something ingested. Ingested means eaten. Okay, so what these defense attorneys argue often is that their clients are doing something wrong. Their bad behavior is because they have eaten something. Okay, that's funny actually. All right, that is the intended meaning here. But so clearly a contrast is going to come up. So far we have the argument of the attorneys, and now let's see what is coming next. In attributing criminal or delinquent behavior. So even if you don't know the meaning of delinquent, it means something similar to criminal. So in attributing here is an ing phrase, a prepositional phrase followed a preposition plus an ing. Okay. So in attributing means in assigning the credit for something to something else. So in attributing criminal behavior to some food allergy, the perpetrators are in effect told that. Now, who are the perpetrators here? Perpetrator actually means the wrongdoer. Okay, this is a wrongdoer. Even if you don't know, by way of understanding the sentence, we can understand the meaning. We are talking about clients of attorneys, we are talking about misconduct. So these perpetrators are the ones who are doing that criminal behavior. The perpetrators are in effect told that they are not responsible for their actions. Okay, so here this they refers to the perpetrators. All right. Therefore, what the author is trying to say perhaps is defense attorneys have often argued something. What have they argued? Their clients' bad behavior is just a reaction to something the clients have eaten. Okay. But, so this but probably the author is saying, and then the author is saying, by saying that the client's behavior is just a reaction to something they have eaten, the attorneys are in effect saying that the crime doers or the perpetrators are not really responsible for their bad behavior. Okay, so the meaning is clear. Now, what is wrong is when you use a preposition plus an ing, okay, at the beginning of a clause. So here you have in attributing. Okay, just let me write this down so that it is clear to all of you. In attributing, then so there is this phrase goes on, and then comma, you have a clause here, right? What is the subject of that clause? The perpetrators, okay? Or the perpetrators here are the, let me just write it down. Perpetrators here are the criminals, for want of a better word. So this will always modify the subject of the clause. If you have a preposition plus an ing right before a clause, then the comma plus this preposition plus ing will always modify the subject of clause. Okay, so it seems as if the criminals are attributing criminal behavior, which is wrong, right? Who is attributing? Who is attributing, guys? Can you answer me in the chat box? Who is attributing the criminal behavior to food allergy? Is it the criminals themselves or is it somebody else? Amol, Lim, Gurnur, Sudeep. Who is attributing? Yes, Lim, the district attorneys. Okay, but the in attributing is modifying the perpetrators, and that we know is wrong. Okay, so this connection here is incorrect. In attributing is modifying perpetrators, which is not the intended meaning. It is the district attorneys who are assigning the blame to the food allergy. So with that, let's move on to the answer choice elimination. A is incorrect because in attributing is modifying perpetrators. So as we say in GMAT Viz, at GMAT Viz, that modified entity. So this is the modified entity and this is the modifier. They do not agree logically. All right. Moving to B, which is the correct answer, and some of you have chosen B. We are saying that if the perpetrator's bad behavior is attributed to food allergy, then perpetrators, okay? If criminal or delinquent behavior is attributed to an allergy to some food, the perpetrators are being told that they are not responsible for the action, and B is correct. Here, if you notice, we have removed the comma plus ing. We have taken off a if and then clause, if and then composition, which is fine totally. Okay, we are saying if the bad behavior is attributed to a food allergy, perpetrators are let off the blame. Okay, let's look at E because that was the other other most popular choice. Here again, in attributing is incorrectly modifying perpetrators. Okay, in attributing behavior that is criminal, this is unnecessarily wordy. All right, and we are saying an allergy to some food rather than some food allergy. So C is wrong on a lot of counts. Let's look at D. Attributed as is incorrect, guys. It's unidiomatic. Secondly, if you're saying attributed means assigned as the cause of something. Okay. So if you're already saying attributed, then this becomes redundant. So D is also out. Let's look at E, which was the other most popular choice. Again, in attributing is modifying perpetrators, which is wrong. And attributing as is unidiomatic and the cause is redundant. So lots of errors in E, guys. Those of you who have marked E, you have to remember that if you have an ing at the beginning of a clause, then that ing will always modify the subject of that clause. So preposition plus ing modifier phrase, when placed at the beginning of a clause, modifies the subject of that clause, modifies the subject. So, and the subject is the noun, right? The subject is the noun. So this is one very clear positioning of the ing where it modifies the noun. So the first case we saw as a modifier of the verb. The second question we saw the preposition plus ing modifier phrase modifying the noun. It is placed next to. Let me know if there are any queries, guys. Good evening, Ashish. Okay, so I don't see any questions, guys. In case you are interested in our course and you would like to take a sneak peek at the trial version of our course, I have posted the link on the screen for all of you. This is a free trial version, and you can get a glimpse of how we teach our methodology. All right. The methodology that I'm using today to solve the question, guys. You are a part of Wednesdays with Whizzes, and we are discussing the most common usages of the ing verbals. Let me bring up the next question right away. Here it is, the question on the screen for you, and your time starts now. All right, guys, you can start posting your answers. So Ashish has already posted his answer. Ashish says the correct answer is D. This question might appear very simple to you guys, but it is one of the hard questions. And this question teaches us that there is one small thing that we should always check for when we are looking at comma plus ing verbals, all right? We forget to do that. I will discuss that with you. So let me see some of the other answers. Sudeep believes it's B, Lim believes it's A, Sappy believes it's B. So I'm glad that some of you have actually chosen a certain option, and I wanted to discuss that. So, guys, stay tuned and let me quickly start getting the discussion going. I'm going to just stop my cam so that we can concentrate. Manorma, thank you. So, Manorma believes it's B, Gurnur believes it's A. So, mostly it's B and A, and you'll be surprised, guys. I have a D as well. Ashish has chosen D. So, let's see what's the correct answer. Let's start by following the intended meaning. The Olympic Games helped. So, right on, we have the subject Olympic Games, which is plural, and we have the verb help. So, the Olympic Games helped probably in doing something. Let's see what. To keep peace, so they helped to bring about peace among the pugnacious states. Now, even if you don't know the meaning of pugnacious, if we are bringing peace, then pugnacious can only mean something which is not peaceful, right? Pugnacious actually means aggressive, but then context wise, you know that the Olympic Games, they help to bring about peace among not so peaceful states of the Greek world. Nothing wrong so far, most of it is non-underlined. However, once again, let me stress, read the non-underlined portion as if it were underlined, because sometimes the error in the underlined portion is because of the non-underlined portion. So let's get started. In that, now the usage of in that, let's quickly resolve this. This is a verb modifier. Okay, this gives us the reason behind a verb. Literally translated in that means for the reason that. Okay, or in short it means because. All right, so let's say, so they are giving us a reason why the Olympic Games, or why they are saying Olympic Games helped to bring about peace. They're going to give us a reason behind that. A sacred truce. Once again, if you don't know what is a truce, don't worry, it is something. Sacred, most of us would know. A holy something was proclaimed, that means was announced during the festival's month. Now, the definite article would refer to something which is already mentioned earlier. The only thing that can be a festival here is the Olympic Games. So it's saying during the games, and there's apostrophe s here, games month. Now this usage, okay, is not considered correct. When you have non-living things, okay, avoid apostrophe s for non-living things. This is a thumb rule. Again, if this is there, this is the same in all choices, then there's nothing to be done there. However, ideally it should be the month of the festival. We don't say table's leg, we say leg of the table, like that. Okay, so clearly here the sentence seems to be fine except the red flag here. So I am going to reserve my judgment. The meaning that I've understood is the Olympic Games were responsible for bringing about peace among the aggressive states of the Greek world. How did the games help? This is the query here that is being discussed by this because, right? The games were held in a certain month, and a treaty, truce, peace was declared by someone, we don't know who, in this month. And that is how the Olympic Games kind of were responsible for bringing about the peace. Nothing wrong here, as I said, except this. So with that, I'm going to move ahead, and a lot of you have chosen A. All right. So let me move ahead. A, for the moment, A is not the answer for two reasons. One is, if you can write one word, okay, because or for or since or any of the words that you can use for because, if you can write one word, why use in that? However, it is not incorrect to use in that. Okay, please remember, what is mostly irritating is this part. So A is incorrect, although that was the closest correct answer. Let's move to B, which again most of you have chosen because of the comma plus ing. Now, most of the time, what we do is, if we see a comma plus ing, we we try to see whether it is modifying the nearest verb. Now, what was the nearest verb? Helped. Okay. So, Olympic Games helped to keep peace. How? How? Proclaiming. Who is proclaiming? Because there is a doer of action, that is Olympic Games. It seems as if Olympic Games is proclaiming, which is wrong. So when you are checking for comma plus ing modifier after a clause, check if you have a doer of action. If you have a doer of action, then the comma plus ing has to make sense not only with the verb but also the doer of the action. Otherwise, it is considered incorrect. B is incorrect, guys. All right. Is this clear? Do let me know if this is clear, guys. So, Manorma, Sappy, Sudeep. All right. B is incorrect because the proclaiming seems to be being done by the Olympic Games. But the original sentence, if you see, the Olympic Games did not proclaim any peace. The truce was proclaimed during the month of the game. So this is a very, very important takeaway. When you're checking for comma plus ing, check whether it makes sense with the doer of the action or not. If there is no doer, it doesn't have to make sense. Okay? If there is no doer, then it doesn't have to make sense. But if there is a doer, it must make sense. I have discussed this in detail, guys, in this video. I'm going to give you the link once again, just in case you have missed it. Let me just... So in that video, I have discussed in detail. Okay, I'm just going to... There's the link to that short video. Yes, happy, we can also eliminate it because of festivals month. All right, with inanimate objects, it's not very, let me put it this way, very idiomatic to use the apostrophe s. All right, I mean, the month does not belong to the festival as such. All right, guys, let me quickly finish the discussion, the rest of this. See, the day is very ambiguous here. The day could be referring to Olympic Games, the day could be referring to states. In the original sentence, we have the passive voice, a truce was proclaimed, and we don't know who. We don't know who did that, all right, or what did that. So C is out. If I look at D, that's the correct answer. If you see the for is a replacement for because, or in that, or for the reason that, and so on. All right, and we're here again, we are maintaining the passive construction. We are not saying who declared the truce. All we are saying is the truce was declared during the month of the festival. It takes care of the festival's month error here. So D is the correct answer. Again, see how it was such a simple question, but a very hard one, because most people don't check for that comma plus ing. Although most of you did not mark E, but E has a similar error. When you say the Olympic Games helped to keep peace, by proclamation, it implies it is done by the Olympic Games. Okay, and therefore this is also out. The takeaway here is very, very important, guys. If there is a doer of action in your sentence, that means if you have a subject which is doing the action, for example, in this case, you had Olympic Games, doing the action helped, then the comma plus ing after the clause has to make sense, not only with the verb, but also the doer. If it is not making sense with the doer, it is incorrect. And the next question that might come in your mind is, why does it have to make sense with the doer? Very simple. Look at this example. If I have two sentences, Jane cleaned the house. While cleaning the house, Jane was humming to herself. If I want to combine these two statements, look at what the statement looks like. Jane cleaned the house, then I'll put a comma, humming to herself. So who is humming? Jane is humming. All right. That is why if you have a doer, then the comma plus ing must make sense with that doer. Hope this is clear, guys. This is a very, very important. So Ashish, honestly speaking, sometimes something is representative of, for example, in GMAT SC questions, you will see evidence suggested that. Okay. Now, evidence is also non-living, right? However, the understanding is the evidence was used by someone to suggest something. So in that sense, okay, Olympic Games in the sense that the organizers of Olympic Games, but nothing has been indicated like that in the original sentence also. All right. So they are also non-living things. They cannot really proclaim, please. The word proclaim doesn't make sense. So you're absolutely right. So Sudeep, the doer, look at the verb help. Okay. So the games help. So the games has to be the doer of help. All right. If games is the doer of help, then the games is also the doer of the comma plus ing, because the comma plus ing is converted from a verb, as I have shown on the screen. So let me know, guys, if that is clear, and we can quickly look at the last question. Now, this question is more like a takeaway because we really don't have time. All right, I just want to point out something to you here quickly. So just take a quick 2 minutes to finish this off, guys. I am also going to share with you the link to set up a free call if you have some very important query or anything that you want to know about the course. You can schedule a free call with our experts using the link that I'm about to post on screen. There it is on screen for you guys. So this question I'm not going to discuss in detail. I just point out to you one of the usages of ing verbals on the GMAT with SC, GMAT SC questions. All right, guys, thank you for posting your answers. So most of you have chosen E. All right. And as I said earlier, the purpose of bringing this question up was just to discuss with you one small thing, that E is the correct answer, guys. Okay. And we are running short on time, so I'll just be quick about it. If you notice, being heavily committed, okay, here is an ing phrase. Okay. However, this ing phrase is acting as the subject of the sentence. So, being heavily committed is likely to make an executive miss signs. All right. If you really analyze this sentence, the intended meaning was that if an executive is heavily committed to a course of action, especially if that action has worked out well, then the heavy commitment makes it likely, okay, to miss signs, makes it likely to miss signs. Who is missing signs is probably the executives, but that is not mentioned here. All right. So miss signs or misinterpret them when they do appear here. The they would refer to the signs. So the intended meaning was the commitment of the executive is likely to make the executive do something, do what? Miss signs and misinterpret the signs. So the cause here is the heavy commitment. The effect is the miss signs of trouble. And this cause and effect relationship is best brought out in option E. Let's go back to this. So being heavily committed is the subject. It states the cause. is likely to make the executive miss signs or misinterpret them. Sorry, guys. Or misinterpret them is the effect. All right. And the takeaway here is the comma plus, the ing verbal can also act as a noun in a sentence. All right. What I can see is almost all of you mark this as E except Lim. Lim, you got mark that as A. A is incorrect because we don't know who is committed, who is likely to miss signs. Okay, that is incorrect, totally. The other choices are incorrect because of various reasons. And because we're short on time, I'm not discussing that. The main issue, the main reason I brought this up was to show you how the noun, okay, the ing can function as a noun. Some of the other choices which are incorrect are because of multiple reasons. For example, here we are saying an executive makes missing signs. Very, very illogical. The cause effect is lost. We are not told the heavy commitment is the cause, okay? Because this is turned into just a modifier. Then in C, we say an executive, again, this is just turned into a modifier, is likely to miss or misinterpret signs. Again, why is the executive likely to miss signs? The cause is not given, all right? And this is supposed to modify the course of action, but is placed far away from it. So this also is incorrect. In D, executives being heavily committed. Okay. So, and then when we are saying makes, so executives being heavily committed is very, very awkward, very, very wrong, very, very wordy. Makes them, who is this them? We don't have any antecedent for them. All right. So the takeaway from this very simply was that the ing can be used as the subject of a clause. It can be a single word. Walking is an excellent exercise. It can be a phrase. Walking with friends is an enjoyable experience, like we had being heavily committed. So that brings us to the end of this session, guys. If you have liked this session, please keep touching base with us on Wednesdays with quizzes. You can connect with us on that WhatsApp number or write to us at support. I will once again quickly share with you. Okay, Lim, thank you. I'll quickly share with you the link to the free trial version of the course in case you're interested in taking a sneak peek at it. And do feel free to set up a call if you have anything important to discuss with our experts at the next link. I'm just going to post that link as well. So see you around again, guys, very soon. Next Wednesday, we will come up with another Wednesday with quizzes. Till then, keep learning, guys. Look out for the shorts that we keep releasing on Mondays as well. So if you've already subscribed to the channel, we'll keep receiving the different videos every week. Okay, there's a link on screen for you right now where you can book a free call on calendly.com. Most welcome, Lynn. Thank you, everybody, guys. Thank you very, very much for being a good interactive audience. It's always nice to interact with people. Good night and take care, guys.